Hello everyone, Lukas Schwegendiek here, and today I want to talk to you a little bit about owning who you are. There's a lot of talks that I have with clients at the moment where they're trying so hard to be someone else. They're trying to be more productive, more effective, trying to do all of these different things, and that's fine, and it's great that they're doing that. However, something that then comes up a lot is that they feel regret when they don't show up for that, when they don't do what they set out to do, and when they don't really get the results they want to have. And going deeper with them on this topic often results in very similar discoveries for them. And I want to share a little bit of that with you here today in terms of owning who you are, because a lot of it then comes in with them feeling like they should be further. They should do more, they should be better, they should. It's all of these different things that they feel they should do, but that they're not doing. And that makes them feel like they're not living up to their true potential. What I usually respond to that is that that is also who they are. There's someone that's working on it, there's someone that's trying, and just like that, you are as well. Whatever is going on in your life right now, that is part of who you are. That is your life. It is, in a way, the accumulation of the choices that you've made and is therefore you as well. That means if you're procrastinating, that's a side of you. If you're being very effective, that's a side of you. If you're being, doing what you can do to be successful, that's a side of you as well. That's all of that is you. Now, when you're feeling shame for something, it's most often that you don't allow yourself to own up to what you enjoy. You try to hide from it. You try to change yourself or feel like you need to change to love yourself and like yourself, and that everybody else loves and likes you as well. But the truth is that that's a bit pointless. Sorry to put it that way, but that's just the best way to describe it. It's like you're a banana trying to be an apple and then blaming yourself for not being red enough. Yet, if you would be as red as an apple is, that would not be a very good banana. At least in most cases, it wouldn't. And it's, on the other hand, it's also you trying to, when you're trying to enjoy something or do something, it's you trying to change your nature. Now, you can change over a long period of time, but you can't change in an instant. That doesn't work. So it's the same way as acquired tastes. You say, I hate olives, but you force yourself, or you say, but I should like them. I should be at a point in my life where I really enjoy olives now. And I'm not, and I'm so ashamed of it, and I feel terrible about that. When I'm using food as an example, that seems ridiculous. But that's how most people act when it comes to other things, when it comes to their work, their passions, their hobbies, their fitness, whatever else it is you want to name. And that's where the problems come in. We treat these other things like places where we should be at because of past experiences, past successes, past rates of growth, or just something else. But the truth is, you're not there yet. With food, that's pretty easy. If you enjoy olives, you enjoy them. If you don't, you don't. Everybody accepts that. No one tries to change that. Everybody owns up to that. And it's the same thing for most foods. Now, I know there's some foods out there like Hawaiian pizza, where some people blame others for liking that. But with most foods, it's pretty stagnant. If you like a food, if you enjoy a food, you like it, you accept that. Everybody around you accepts that, and vice versa as well. And that's how we should treat these other things as well, because you can't change what you like. If you like a certain person, if you like a certain type of job, if you enjoy a certain hobby, that's part of you. You didn't wake up one day and decided, hey, I'm going to enjoy this. It's an accumulation of your experiences, your genetics, what you did do, what you didn't do, that ends up with you liking this. And that's not something that you actively chose to do. Now, you can change that by actively choosing something new. For instance, if you decide to pour your heart and soul into a completely different habit, you can probably learn to enjoy it. Some things that are more outside your general comfort zone will take longer. to learn to enjoy, other things will be easier, but it's possible. The point being, don't feel shame for that. You enjoy what you enjoy, just like you enjoy foods, and you're not ashamed of that either. And it's this culture, this society that makes us feel like we should be at a certain place. We should be here, we should be like this, we should act like that when we're a certain age, or have a certain job, or are with a certain person, or whatever. But the truth is that, well, you enjoy what you enjoy. Own that. Because that is part of you. And no matter how much you want to change it now, it's not going to happen now. You're still going to be you. And I could show you here, I have Dungeons and Dragons books here because I enjoy playing that game. I have board games over here. I have a lot of games on my computer. I just enjoy that stuff. I can share that with you. I like anime too. I can share with you whatever, because it's not like I'm trying to hide it, because I'm not ashamed of what I like. There's no point to it. Now, if you don't like me liking that stuff, great. Okay, I'll watch my content. I'll see you around. But I can't change that. Well, I guess I could, but why? There's no point. I'm comfortable with that. And I feel like we all could be if we just allowed that in and stopped trying to be something we're not. If we just became more accepting of ourselves and understood that the desires we have, the things we enjoy, the person who we are and who we think we should be, if we just took that a little easier and just acknowledged where we were at, we wouldn't worry so much. We wouldn't try so hard, and we would just live more. For instance, if you want money, if you want to be rich, that's something that has developed over time as you saw other rich people, as you saw other people with success, that you wanted that. And some people will say, well, that's not your own dream, so you maybe should look into that. But at a core, that is something you enjoy. Whether someone tells you that's not a good thing to enjoy or not, it is still something you enjoy thinking about. So chase it. I made a video earlier about chasing joy. Well, if that brings you joy, then chase that. Because that's you. That's part of who you are. Don't be ashamed of that. Now, if you want to change and not like certain things anymore, maybe you're drinking too much or eating too much sugar or smoking too much, if that's something that you enjoy now and you don't want to own, at least own it in this moment, and then own the desire to change that as well. Because that's also part of you. It's getting pretty meta now, I know, but we have to talk about this. Because if you just own certain aspects, like either I enjoy smoking or I don't enjoy smoking, for example, you're not going to own all the stuff in the middle, and the progress there is going to be really rough and likely not consistent, because at some point you're going to start feeling ashamed for still smoking if you mess up, and then you're likely going to revert to a habit that brings you comfort, which is most often smoking for those of you that smoke, and it's just a negative feedback loop. Instead, own it and say you're a person that's trying to quit. That's your current state, because you don't like to do it. You want to quit. And that's who you are. Own everything that you're doing. Own yourself. Own who you are in every aspect, whether that's weird or not socially accepted or whatever it is, just own it, whether it's a path, a progress, or certain aspects of your character. If you don't like it, own that. If you do like it, own that as well, right? Just become more accepting in general of who you are, and it'll make a lot of things easier. Let's say, for instance, you want to stop smoking. You smoke too much, you know it's not really healthy, and you want to be healthy. So you own that. It makes it less of a must not to smoke. Because what most people run in that try to quit a bad habit or start a new habit is that they shame themselves into doing it or not doing it. And that's such a tough battle to fight. You've probably done something similar with maybe your wake-up times or maybe some other habits that you try to start or try to stop, and it's so difficult. Imagine just, for example, lying in bed and the alarm rings and it's 5 a.m. and that's when you want to wake up, and you look at it and you're like, I want to get up. And then you start shaming yourself into it. But I should, I said I would, come on, you suck if you don't do that, you should be at a point where you could do that. ugh, what an awful feeling. Why do that? Why not just say, yeah, I don't want to stand up. But yes, I also want to learn to stand up. And yes, I know it's going to be difficult. Accepting that and owning that and saying, yep, fully aware. Because that will put you back into a state where you can then choose what to do. Most of the time, just giving yourself that freedom of choice, that freedom to take one or the other, that liberty, instead of trying to force your way down one path, giving yourself a little bit more opportunity or liberty to choose, makes it often a much better choice in the end. I would like for you to try this out this week. For the next 7 days, whenever you notice that you're feeling like you're shamed of something, or you're shaming yourself into something, let that go and just say, I'm okay with that. I am a person. Maybe even you go on the meta level here and say you want to get rid of the shaming. So you're saying, I'm a person right now that shames myself and I want to change that. Because that again gives you that freedom. If you're into meditations at all or Eastern philosophies, this is kind of like taking the role of the observer, the voice inside you that kind of looks at your life. If you're not in meditation, you can kind of ignore this point. It's going to be too complicated to get into. But you're essentially trying to be that voice behind the scenes that watches your entire life that says, that's okay. That's just accepting of what is going on. Doesn't mean you have to like it, right? You can accept that you don't like something, but just accepting of it. I hope that makes sense. It is quite a complicated topic, what I'm talking about here, but the core of it is that whenever that you have to accept yourself along the way, even if that's not where you want to be yet. Because else you're looking at that ideal version of yourself versus the real version of yourself, and that makes it very hard to find the in-between, the step-by-step process, and then take that. Because it's this either or thinking. Either I'm there or I'm not. Either I'm happy with being there or I'm not. And while that's very simple, life is a little bit more complicated. There's a lot more grace. And accept that you're somewhere in the middle. Maybe you're more to one side, maybe you're more to the other side. Doesn't matter. Accept that and stop blaming yourself so much for that. You didn't choose to like it. You didn't choose who you become. You can choose so now, going forward, at least a little bit. But you're still going to be your past is still going to be part of who you are. Everything about that. And your genetics as well. So try not to judge that too hard. Try not to change too quickly. And allow yourself to be part of that process, because that eventually will make you become the person you want to be. Again, I hope that makes sense. I may have gone off a little bit off topic, but I think it's still valuable information. And with that, I'll see you in the next one.